130, 140,000 votes. It was 59-38 back in 2020. This was not, however, your grandmother's democracy process being sort of a fly on the wall to watch all this happen. Walk with me here for a second. So these are the tabulations that came out. These receipts, guys, were so long. They were strewn across this entire table. I watched as the board went through line item by line item to authenticate it for the unofficial results. There's basically a caravan of cars that comes in. They're all holding from each of the 80 precincts these thick orange cases that have flash drives in them. Bobby, who I'm told has been here with Buncombe County for generations, a 70-something-year-old woman, takes the flash drive out, comes in here and brings it into this room. In the room, it's unencrypted, and so they actually get the data up there and they upload it directly to the county site and then to the state site from this room, and then all the day of votes get tabulated over in these machines. Fascinating to watch. It is actually now done. Let me send it back to you.
All right, Sam, thank you very much. Got a projection to tell you about. The state of Illinois. Kamala Harris, as expected, takes it. So that's a Midwest hold for Kamala Harris and the Democrats. Let's look at the breakdown here. Half the vote in, and it looks like it will be an easy victory as expected. And so we can fill out one more state on our road to 270 map. The state of Illinois going to Kamala Harris. Let's go to Tom Yamas. You're in North Carolina, where we just heard straight from the horse's mouth. Buncombe County right there. Asheville. It's been through so much with Hurricane Helene, and Sam Brock had the poll results in his hot little hands.
But were you calling him a horse? That's like, I'm not sure if you were or not. Sam's a tall drink of water, but he's no horse. He's a handsome man. So listen, along the lines of from what he was reporting, and I just checked out those Hurricane Helene counties. We can show you the ones that were affected by the floods. Let me go, hold on one second. Here we go. So these were all the counties, the 13 counties that were affected by the floods, where people could vote in other parts of the state if they weren't able to vote in their home county. It's interesting. I was going through the numbers. It doesn't look like there's any kind of drop-off there. That's actually better news for the president, because there are more Trump voters out there in the western part of the state, with the exception of the blue dots like Asheville, places like that. Here's where a lot of the vote is still out. Charlotte, Mecklenburg. Look, Trump is on top right now statewide. Mecklenburg is the place where Democrats, I'm going to keep going back to Mecklenburg when we talk about North Carolina. This is Charlotte and then the surrounding suburbs. They need to drive up the vote here. It is a majority minority county. Hispanics and African Americans, they have to drive up the numbers here. When they lose races like Senate races, it's because the turnout is not where it needs to be in Charlotte. So not enough vote there. But the good news is there is vote in other places. Wake County, this is the capital. Raleigh, part of the Research Triangle. You can see Kamala Harris slightly overperforming President Biden with 76% of the vote. Whoops, that was a mistake. Let me go back to North Carolina here. Here we go. Okay. Right over here, Durham, this is where Duke University is. 85% of the vote is in. 81% she did compared to Biden. Slightly overperforming there, and just over where UNC Chapel Hill is. Slightly overperforming there. Here's one thing, though, that Republicans have something to possibly celebrate. This is Nash County. This is Governor Roy Cooper's county. This is where he's from. It's sandwiched between Raleigh, Wake County, and the North Carolina Black Belt, where you have those counties with high percentages of African-American voters. It usually, almost always in the last few elections, has picked the winner. 2012 Obama, Trump flips it. Biden it went with Biden in 2020. That wasn't a correct pick. But today, Trump is on top. And you can see that's good news for him, considering that Biden took it in 2020. We're also watching New Hanover. This is Wilmington. You have a lot of people who have moved to the east coast of North Carolina, the coastal communities here. Only 5% in, but this is also one of those counties that has always picked the winner in North Carolina. Not enough vote in to even compare it. I do want to talk about the Triad. This is, again, sometimes the forgotten metro area, but huge population center for North Carolina. A lot of the historically black universities are here as well. Greensboro, Guilford County, 55% in. Let's see how she's doing compared to Biden. Look, she's holding her marks, so this is pretty good. I want to see how Trump's doing, though, in some of the rural counties where he has to drive up the vote. Look, only 20. I want to go a little closer to Charlotte. Union County seems to be doing okay. Again, this is along the southern border, right above South Carolina. Seems to be holding his own. Anson, 92% in. This is actually a big flip. Let me see what this looked like in 2016. So this is interesting. Clinton won in 16. Biden won in 2020 with 92% of the vote in. Trump is on top right now. Again, not a large county you're going to see. There's only about 10,000 votes here. But we're kind of reading the tea leaves and seeing where everything's at so far. Again, statewide, 63% in. This is the only battleground state that Trump won in 2020. That's why we're watching it so close. It was very close. It was the slimmest margin. 63% of the vote is in. We're still watching and waiting here in North Carolina. As soon as we can make a call, again, too early, you know we're going to project it, guys.
Tom, you had a little something for everybody in that, no matter who you're rooting for. We got a couple of results to read to you right now. These are ballot measures. We saw the abortion measure go down to defeat in Florida. It had a 60% threshold in New York. It passes easily. 71% of the vote is the margin there. We'll go to Maryland. There was also an abortion rights measure, and that easily passes as well. Both of those blue states. I'll bring Laura Jarrett into this conversation because we do have 10 states that have these ballot measures, and obviously Democrats have hoped that that would help their fortunes, and especially in these battleground states.
New York, obviously not a place where people think of abortion rights under threat. The initiative there was broader than just about abortion. It had to do with anti-discrimination principles more generally, reproductive health care a part of that, but it was also about pregnancy and the like, and so that's why it was even on the ballot in a place like New York. But you think about a place like South Dakota, a completely different story. We still have to wait to see what happens there. Arizona, a different story. Missouri, we still don't have enough in to be able to make a call on that.
Forgive me, let's see if the brain's still working here at 9:45.
You got a big set of cards there,
This is a late night for the Today Show, but Nebraska has two measures, doesn't it?
It does.
1 for, 1 against?
1 for, 1 against. So we'll see how that.
So which one wins? The one with the raw vote?
The one that has
majority?
the one that has the majority, but we don't have enough in to make a call on that.
And of course, there have been other states that went this road prior to tonight.
Many states that had went this road and had been able to reach the threshold to pass it, Lester. That's why the Florida situation was interesting. Obviously, is discussing because of the threshold there. But you think about a place like Michigan, places like Ohio had managed to get it through in the past.
We have another presidential projection here we can put up on the screen here and walk you through it. I see it as you see it. NBC News projects Donald Trump will take the state of Ohio with 17 electoral votes. There's the breakdown of 441,000 vote difference now. 64% of the vote in Ohio, and again, Donald Trump is the winner there. And there's where it takes us on the road to 270. Donald Trump out in front with 185 electoral votes. Harris with 81.
All right, let's go to Savannah Sellers. We always need not one, but two Savannahs sitting at the desk at any time, if possible. Exactly. Savannah, I mean, we've been looking a lot into the youth vote, and we were just talking about abortion, and for young women,